Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So, here's a big one. Inauguration is coming in 1 week, 7 days, and President Trump is planning to announce crypto executive orders on day one, not day 100, not day 30, day one. He has a lot of things planned, including that very important strategic reserve buildup of Bitcoin. That could come as soon as the first day. In fact, right before inauguration, he's planning on having a crypto ball, a crypto party, because a lot of the crypto leaders want to get together and talk about what to expect this year. So Trump is definitely going all out with crypto. And that is a big, big reason why Bitcoin and many American-based crypto projects will skyrocket when this happens. I already talked about the strategic reserve and how significant it is. The first time in Bitcoin history. I mean, today I just saw a headline about Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan that still thinks Bitcoin has no intrinsic value, is worthless. Yet, our president is about to make a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. I would say that means something. There's some value there. The plan of it is to sit there and eventually one day utilize it to pay off the national deficit. So that shows you the growth potential and how serious this situation is, because you got so many other countries that will be following. So make no mistake, this is a big deal. This year and the next 4 years could be absolutely huge and game-changing. Okay, here's another one. I don't know if this is good or bad, but there's a lot of rumors that Ross Ulbricht will be freed after being in jail for 11 years. He was sentenced to a life sentence based on his involvement with Silk Road, but he may be freed finally, and this is something that a lot of people have been petitioning for. So that may also come day one. So there are many, many things that are in the works, right? And this thing about Bitcoin falling below 90,000 1 week before inauguration, well, why did it happen, right? Well, if you actually look at history, before inauguration, this usually happens. Bitcoin goes down. In 2021, it went down like 30%. In 2017, it went down 50%. So our current 10% drop, less than that, is really not anything to be worried about. Again, dips are gifts. Dips are our friends right now, right? Even though we had a massive wreckage today, about 800 million, longs and shorts, okay? So obviously we had a lot of leverage getting wrecked. We had some market makers do their thing, cause a lot of FUD, and we did go down, right? But we recovered right back up. That's the name of the game. Bitcoin is strong. Every time we fall down, you got a lot of people that saying, well, it's over. We're going to go down to the 60s. We're going down to 50s. I just saw someone saying, Tom Lee says we're going to go down to 70s. We're not going anywhere. We're bouncing and we're heading straight back up to $100,000. That's where we're heading. We have seen this story. When in doubt, zoom out. We have seen multiple times last month and this month where we fell down to these levels. And then guess what happened? We picked ourselves back up and kept going. That's just reality. And, of course, outside of Trump, I've been sharing so many stories about institutions, about the supply shock, FOMO. BlackRock is now expanding their IBIT to Canada, the 51st state of the United States soon. This is big. I mean, I don't know how many Canadian citizens there are, but, you know, they're exposed. Canada does have their own ETFs already. But BlackRock is a different story. Okay, so that's going to cause some FOMO, definitely, for sure. BlackRock is also the biggest like proponent of Bitcoin now. They've been sharing decks and telling people to get involved with Bitcoin, right? And they're predicting that Bitcoin adoption, well, not predicting, it has, 300 million users in 12 years, outpacing internet and mobile. So crypto Bitcoin adoption is the fastest ever in terms of a new technology, which is amazing. It took mobile phones 21 years, internet 15 years. Crypto beat it by 3 years. Quite amazing, quite amazing. Outside of ETFs, of course, we got Sailors of the World who just DCA'd more today, and so many others that are following. So obviously the supply shock is still happening. But outside of Wall Street, look at this headline. Small-scale Bitcoin buyers surpass ETFs with more activity accumulation. It's not just the big boys. A lot of you guys, a lot of retail investors know better. Know that we are going to go higher. All these little dips are distractions. We will move forward. And that's why we also have retail investors continuing to buy, which is DCA. That's awesome. Miners are still strong as ever. But, I talked about Bitcoin, strategic reserve, not only in the U.S. but in other countries. But, something like this is definitely related. Russia makes Bitcoin mining legal. Why do you think that? Same reason why China made Bitcoin mining legal. First of all, they don't want the U.S. to dominate with Bitcoin mining. Second of all, they're probably getting a cut of that. They're probably working out some kind of tax or something. So they are ready, at least China is already building up that strategic reserve. They're just not publicly announcing it. And Russia plans on doing the same thing. So it's already happening in front of our eyes. All over. And like I said, every single cycle right before inauguration, the first 2 weeks of January traditionally have been bad. Really, really bad. And then what follows is really, really good. Bitcoin in 2017, it fell from $1,200 down to $700 before rallying up to $20,000. Yeah, I went through that cycle. In 2021, same thing. We went from like 42,000 down to 28,000, and then we didn't stop until 69,000. And this time around, we went from 102,000 down to 90,000, and now we're recovering already, right? So things are looking pretty darn good. And even last year, we saw the same thing. Last year, the beginning of the year, we also saw a little dip, okay, before we went up to $73,000. I think a lot of people forgot about this. A lot of people forgot that at the beginning of the year, in January, we actually slid down quite a lot, around like 50,000 all the way down to 38,000, something like that, before we doubled and went up straight to 73,000. I think people forgot that. And if you look at the pattern, it's very, very similar to the pattern that we're going through right now. And if we're mimicking it, guess what's going to happen next? This next rebound will skyrocket Bitcoin in a big, big way, right? Again, this is why you never want to give up. You don't want to give up.